let's get it. Welcome to my world. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing the rear brake pads on my 2000 MX-5. So I'm going to be showing you how to change them, what to look for, and just how easy it is. So there are a few tools you're going to need for changing the brakes in the rear of an MX-5, and those tools are quite commonly found. So all you're going to need is a 3/8 head ratchet. You're going to need a 14mm socket, a 10mm socket, and a 4mm Allen key. Okay, so once you have those tools assembled, let's get to it. I might just do a little quick change and we'll get into it. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, I am just about to jack up the car using the jack. I have to get it to the optimum height that I can get 2 jack stands under the jacking points at the back. Before you do this, make sure you untighten the wheel bolts so that when you get them up in the air, the wheels don't just spin on the hub and you can get the wheels off. Alright, so the car is nearly fully up and now I'm just putting the jack stands under the jacking points. This is really essential, make sure you are doing this. Alrighty guys, now that you have the jack stand safely under the car, just go ahead and slowly lower it onto those stands. Make sure you keep the jack under the diff just for added safety. Alright, so now that we have the car up in the air on the jack stands, go ahead and start removing the wheel bolts that you did loosen before. They will come off quite easily as we did loosen them before we lifted the car. Take the wheel completely off and set the wheel to the side. Alright guys, so now that we've got the wheel off, we're going to make sure that our brakes that we have bought to fit are actually the ones that are on the car. So these are what I've ended up with. Hopefully they are the exactly the same brakes that are on my car, so we're just going to inspect that now. Alright. Yep, they look pretty similar. Sweet, so we can just go ahead and open them up and let's get to fitting them. Alright, so in the box with these ones, so I've just gone with the Bendix General CT brake pads. These are brake pads for most passenger cars out there on the roads today. You'll just have the 4 brake pads, and if you have any fitting necessary equipment, it'll normally come with it, but if not, just reuse it unless it's completely screwed. So for the MB brakes, step 1 is to remove this little cap, and under there is going to be a bolt that we're going to have to take out, and that is the lock pin for the lower slider on the caliper. Alright, so once you remove the cap, which literally just pulls off, the bolt to hold the lock slider in is a 10mm. Alright, so that is the lock pin that holds the bottom side of the caliper in. Just take that out, and then what we're going to do is just lift the caliper up. As soon as you take the caliper off, you don't want it to be held down, because that will stress the brake lines and handbrake line. So just put 2 zip ties together, and we're just going to zip tie it to somewhere on the chassis to hold it up and take the tension off the brake lines. So just lift it up and slide it off. Like that. I'm just going to zip tie it to the chassis just like that, and we can remove the brake pads. So just to show you, they are the thickness of the brake pads that were on my car, and they are the thickness of the new ones. Also, when replacing these brake pads, make sure that you take the metal shims off the old ones, and they literally just clip back over onto the new ones. Alright, now to push the piston back and unwind it, what you're going to want to do is see these 2 bolts right here. Take the smaller one out, it's a 14mm, just take that all the way out, and then you will just need a I think it's a 4.5mm hex key. You just put that in there and unwind it. I'm going to use a 4 because it still works anyway. but that is how you unwind the caliper. Alright, so I've just unwinded that and it's pushed the piston all the way back. So now we're just going to slide it back onto the top guide pin and we're going to put them back together. Now we have to just slightly tighten back that piston, pushing it towards so that the caliper is just mildly tight, but not too tight. Alrighty guys, so you want to pay a lot of attention to this step because this is adjusting your handbrake. As you're winding the piston out, you're adjusting the strength of your handbrake. So if you leave it too loose, then it's not going to give you any handbrake at all, and if you do it too tight, you won't even be able to pull the handbrake up. So make sure that you're tightening it and then checking the handbrake as you're doing it and readjusting if necessary. Make sure you're ending up with about 4 to 8 clicks. Alright, so pretty much all I've done is lower the caliper, screw back in the 14mm that holds the adjustment pin in. I've screwed the lower lock tab in and put the cap back on, and that's all there is to it guys. You now have brand new brake pads in your Mazda MX-5. Guys, if you did enjoy this video and it did help you out a bit, make sure you drop some love, like, comment and subscribe. Catch you out next time guys.